welcome to The Good Pod, where today we talk about The Good Wife, Season 1, Episode 22, Hybristophilia? Pretty sure I said that.
I think you did it.
I am one of your hosts, the youngest host talking about The Good Wife, Jason Reed, along with the oldest host who talk about The Good Wife rewatching, Marissa Garza. Marissa, you good?
I'm good, Jason. Thanks.
Did you get it?
That was
We're the
that
only
was so
people talking
good.
about The Good Wife, and
That was
I'm the youngest because I'm younger than you,
yeah,
and you're the
yeah.
oldest because you're older than me.
So good.
Yeah.
I'm so good.
How'd that make you feel? Good?
That was so good.
Great.
Yeah, I'm
Good.
feeling great.
All right, cool. So listen, Hybristophilia.
Yeah.
Interesting name, interesting condition, I guess. I think I probably have the opposite of this. I usually stay away from dangerous people. At least I try. But
Yeah, hybristophilia is the like compulsion to be around dangerous people,
yeah,
right? Like that was
yeah,
what
I
they
have
were
the
saying. Yeah,
anti
that's
of
not me.
that. Yeah, I got the anti of
Yeah.
that. Listen, another visit from our guy, Colin Sweeney. I didn't think it would be so soon that we went back to Colin Sweeney, but here we are.
Yeah, Colin, he's a big part of the universe. He's here. I think he's here a couple more times
Oh yeah, I mean,
as
I
well.
think
So,
it's I think he's gonna pop back in and out of our lives. I think through
yeah.
the whole of the show. So yeah, but before we get too deep into this episode, we want to remind you all of some free and easy ways that you can help support this podcast. No matter where you're watching or listening, there's some sort of rating mechanism, there's some sort of way you can leave feedback through ratings. We would appreciate whatever the highest rating is for your platform you're listening or watching to us on, that you give us that, whether it be a thumbs up, whether it be a 5 stars. We would really appreciate your support because that is what helps us get into the eyes and ears of more people and helps make our podcast grow. So we'd appreciate any ratings, reviews. We'd also appreciate if you subscribed wherever you are. You can hit a little follow button or whatever your platform of choice uses. You can also communicate with us through email. Our email is thegoodpodfeedback@gmail.com. If you have any comments, questions, musings, and thoughts about past or upcoming episodes, you can contact us there and let us know, and we'll get back to you. We like to converse, like to talk, we like to get some conversation going about these episodes. We would love to talk to you. We would love to hear from you. So if you got anything, send it our way, and we will be in contact.
Yes, we would love to hear from you. And also, if you're watching Elsbeth, you can catch our Elsbeth coverage dropping every Saturday during season 2. And then we're here still with The Good Wife on Mondays. And we'd love to hear from you on both shows if you're listening to one. Speaking of Elsbeth,
Yeah,
we got a lot of Elsbeth in this
and
one.
this in terms of when we first met Elsbeth a couple episodes ago, it was like she wasn't all the way in her Elsbeth bag, if you will, in her Elsbeth tote bag, if you will, because she
Yeah.
only had one bag when we saw her the first time, and she wasn't as kooky as we know Elsbeth to be. But I think this appearance, they're just like, all right, here is the Elsbeth you all know and love. She's kooky. She's got all the bags. She's got that kind of weird sixth sense about things. I think they really kind of made her character what it is, starting in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good to see her. And she had I totally forgot that this was her pivotal experience.
Yeah,
She's been such a big part of this universe and shows up in a couple of other places that I totally
like
forgot that this was like her introduction.
I could not have told you that her introduction into the Good Wife was related to Peter's case.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to tell you that before we did this rewatch. I just did
But
not remember at all.
it is so perfect. It makes me now Peter storylines are a little bit more tolerable for me
Yeah.
because Elsbeth is around. So
Yes.
she wasn't the only one. Should we just get into the
Yeah,
case
let's
of the
dive
week?
in. Let's go into it.
All right. So the case of this week has to do with our good friend, your good friend, the show's good friend, Colin Sweeney. Um, we're starting with the case of the week, but yeah, I don't know how to do
Well,
this. Okay.
the case of the week starts off branching out of another one of our storylines. Let's just say that when the case of the week pops off, Alicia and Kalinda are out
Yeah.
celebrating and
Celebrating.
have
Yes.
gotten a little tipsy. They're kind of celebrating the fact that, as we discussed last episode, Alicia won the standoff with Cary, the competition with Cary, and she and Kalinda are out celebrating that victory when Alicia gets this call to
Yes.
go help out our friend Colin Sweeney.
Yeah, because Colin Sweeney has a red line contract that he needs signs. Will is too like
He's too busy
busy
firing people.
like
Like,
laying people off.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he can't go do this. So
I like
she's
how
like, yeah,
I like
pick
how
up
he's
a
like,
contract. I can do this.
no, I like how he was like, I was gonna ask Brad to do it, but I just fired Brad, so I don't have to ask you to do this.
You, the one we just promoted, like, let's go do
Yeah,
it.
because I mean, important to note that when Will calls her, Will has no idea what's really happening. He thinks that Colin Sweeney is calling him to come pick up some contracts, so he doesn't know what Alicia's about to walk
Well,
into.
and Alicia totally picks up the phone, like,
Hi,
hey,
Will. How are you? Like,
hey,
because
what's
yeah,
up?
because before I mean, we'll talk about the whole Alicia and Kalinda of it all, what this conversation really entailed, but it was they had just come off a conversation, Will, Kalinda and Alicia, of like, you could actually have Will, like,
Like, you
you
could
could
do that.
pursue
Like,
this,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so
At
Alicia,
least tonight. Like, this
yeah,
is the thing you could do today.
Alicia's drunk and she sees Will on the caller ID, which it's a big thing on the Blackberries, and she's like, hey Will, what are you doing? He's like, hey, sober up, I need you to work. Like, that's
She's
basically what it
just like
was.
leaning up against the wall.
Yeah,
Like, she's definitely feeling some
Alicia,
vibes.
as we rarely see her.
Yes. So she's like, "Oh, pick up a contract? Sure, I can do that. Let me get in a cab. Let me go over to Colin's house." She goes over to Colin's house. Collins, of course, lives in a mansion of all mansions, and he cannot greet her at the door because he is tied, well, handcuffed, foot cuffed, hand to foot
Yeah, his
cuffed
his leg is foot cuffed
to
to uh this a dead
a
woman's
dead
hand.
body.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So wasn't necessarily a contract.
no,
There's definitely some issues here. Alicia's freaking out. She's like, Colin's like, I already called 911. Yeah, this happened. I don't really know what to tell you. Alicia hears some other well,
disturbance.
Colin had asked Alicia to pick up a camera on her way up the stairs. So she's picked up this camera. She's got fingerprints on a camera. Colin's got a dead body. And then she hears some other noise and she turns the corner and she finds out that their dog is dead at the same time.
Man,
There's a lot
there's a lot
happening.
going on. 'Cause, I mean, it's funny, first of all, because you think about how we got in the situation. Colin Sweeney called Will and was like, "Hey, can you just come to my house and, like, I got some
Pick up this
business."
contract.
No, well, not
Yeah.
even I don't even think he told him to pick up a contract. I think Will assumed that. And then Colin's like, "Hey,
Well, because there's a merger
yeah,
happening.
there's a merger happening. There's big business happening with Colin's company that I think I'm guessing this is the company that Colin is now taking over from his dead
Yes.
wife." So
Yes.
Colin's like, "Hey, could you just pop over because I got some business I need you to take care of." Not telling anyone that the business is I have murdered someone and I'm handcuffed to them right now. Like,
Uh,
not as if any one of other of us would have make this call like, oh my god, something terrible just happened. I need you to come help me right now. But I was like, hey, I'm Colin Sweeney. I'm weird. I'm crazy. Just come on over. Something's gone down. Not gonna tell you what. Just come on over. I'm gonna surprise you with
You'll
it.
find out. You'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
It's fine. The cops do show up. Sweeney does get arrested. I love that Alicia has to remind Colin Sweeney that this is not a time to joke.
Yeah.
No
Like,
jokes.
don't make any stupid jokes. The irony's not gonna work here. Be cool, man. This is some serious ish you've gotten yourself in. And I do love, like, going back to, like, when Alicia comes. This is Alicia's, like, I don't know, at least third or fourth dead body she's had to see while she's worked for Lockhart Gardner at this point. Like, it's not even phasing her anymore. She's just like, oh my god, this is a murder person in a pool of blood. She's just like, damn, let me make it, like, not me who would be
Yeah.
like, oh my god, like, it would be like in the corner throwing up, having seen this
Yes.
murdered person with multiple stab wounds and a pool of blood. Like, I would be in the fetal position, just throwing up somewhere. At least just like, okay, let me call Kalinda, let me get myself together. And Colin Sweeney is he's so crazy in a funny way because he's like, yeah, this is crazy, huh? He, like, as he takes the camera from Alicia that she brought to him, and, like, he's like tearing out the film because
The film.
one of those old cameras, and you just tear the film out, and it will overexpose or whatever due to the light. He's like, let's get rid of this evidence because there's, as he tells Alicia, like, there are some embarrassing photos on here, so let me get rid of this right now. Like, oh, so good. This is what you get when you get the Colin Sweeney experience.
Yeah, no kidding. And this lady, like, really wanted the Colin
Oh
Sweeney
Oh yeah.
experience.
Oh
Like
yeah.
she was in it. They found that there were some stalker letters involved. One of them that said, "You're dead meat. I love dead meat,"
Crazy.
and also had details from his trials that we'd seen previously in the series. So they find out that this lady was the court reporter, and that's how she had all this information to Colin's life. And Kalinda and her Kalinda-ness is like, oh, cool. We know who it is now. I'm just going to go break into their house and I'm going to go
Yeah.
find a journal where she's like super obsessed with Colin Sweeney. And what do you know? I have evidence now.
Yeah, because I mean, of course, Kalinda is using her Kalinda sense, like because it
Yes.
just seems like Kalinda has these premonitions from nowhere. She wants to check the dead dog for a sedation because that would lead to saying that hey, Jane Doe came in here planning to do something bad to Colin Sweeney, so Colin Sweeney can claim self defense because that's what Colin is claiming here. This is
Yes.
self defense, as he tells Alicia and Diane, like, hey, like me and Sheila, who is the lady's name we find out. That's what he called her, at least. Me and Sheila have had this thing going for a while now, where she breaks into my house, I disarm her, and we have sex. Like this is our thing. This is our kink.
It's like one or two times.
Yeah,
Like
one
just
times. It won't
just
happen
one or
twice,
two times.
but I mean, I feel like twice is probably two times more than needed. But he's like,
Yes.
yeah, this thing's happened. She comes in, I disarm her, we bang. That's it. That's usually what happens. This time, things went a little nuts. She actually tried to kill me. So
Well, and like she had a knife,
yeah,
and there was a struggle with the knife, and it went into her instead of going into him,
That's
and so
that is
that
not
is
the
what
thing.
happened.
That is not the thing
That was not the.
that usually goes into her. That's not that's not what usually happens. That's not the thing that usually goes in. Something else went in. The knife
Oh
went in
boy.
some other body part that is not typically going on. So I just like how he like described it so nonchalant. He's like, yeah, we struggle with the knife, and next thing you know, he just went in.
Yeah, it was to call Colin's just like, this is life. Like, this
Yeah,
is my life.
yeah.
This is
This is
how
another
how
day.
it is.
This is another day. But you can tell he's now like he's concerned that he is
Yeah.
in prison
Well,
now.
because there's this happening, and as we had mentioned, there was also a merger. So
Yes.
like the firm is helping on both fronts, and it would basically help the merger if Sweeney took a deal. So there's not this like ongoing like court case
Mhm.
situation that's happening. So that's kind of the way things are going
Well,
until, yeah.
well, like, and as we're going through this episode, and we get Will, right. Will pulls Alicia aside. He's like, hey, how are you handling things? She's like, you mean with like the firm, the job? He's like, no, I mean the fact that you just saw a murdered dead
Dead
body.
body.
And she's like, oh, that? Pfft, fine. Like, okay. And Will again is like, so are we normal again? And she's like, I guess. I don't know. Like, Will either stop doing this or like put it back on again. Because you're like this in between that Will's doing, like I
He
thought
doesn't know what he's doing.
he
He
doesn't know
doesn't
what he's
know how to
doing.
he doesn't know how to handle it. So he's like, I'm going to check in on an emotional level, which is very confusing
Like, stop
because
checking in emotionally. I thought we were done. Like, if
yes,
it's done, let it
yeah,
be done. Stop
don't
stop asking if
don't do
we're
it.
okay. Like, just stop. But
Don't do it.
in this, like, also in this thing, we get a scene with Will and Diane where they're like, yeah, actually, this might not be too bad with the merger because if they're able to use this criminal case to get Colin Sweeney off the board of directors, that's what the other company in the merger wants. So this actually might be good for us. And because of that, we need to separate the criminal and the business side of these
Yes.
cases.
I really wish they would come up with a new term for this. So why don't we
Not the
just call
Chinese
it
wall.
like, yeah, like can we just call it the no talk zone?
Yeah, no
They have
talkies.
to they have to talk. They're like no talkies. We're not going to do any no talkies because um Will and Diane are going to take care of the merger, and Julius and Alicia are going to take on the murder. Kalinda has found blood on the dog, and it's blood of both Colin Sweeney and Sheila, the court reporter. To which then Sweeney just comes out and says, It was the hardest thing I've ever done.
So crazy because like, and they also note that they're like the knife cuts were like a like hesitation cuts, like
Yeah.
is someone that was having a hard time with doing this to the dog. So it's like, so does that mean Colin Sweeney killed his dog? And then we just
Yeah.
smash cut to like Colin Sweeney like, oh yeah, crazy thing I had to do, right? It's just so, as he does, just so like, yeah, I had to kill my dog. They're like, wait, what? Like, so you're admitting you killed your dog? He's like, yeah. How else? Like, how? Who was gonna believe me?
Obviously,
This is
obviously,
obviously what I had to do.
because
I had to kill my dog. Like, wait, what?
we had to, like, make it seem like she killed the dog, and then, like, I was, like, protecting my dog.
Yeah, it's like,
Like, so
sir,
obviously,
you had that had
that's what had
nothing.
to happen.
Like, you didn't have to do that. You just, he took into some other. He took it some weird place. Like, you know what I'll do? Like, I'll kill the dog. Like, wait, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, did you just want to get rid of the dog or try to find some way to get rid of the dog and kill two birds with one stone? So that was weird. He's like, yeah, I had to kill my dog. Who else would believe me if I didn't kill my dog?
Yeah, yeah.
What?
It was weird. It was weird.
Put him in jail just for
Um,
that.
yeah. And the DA wants 45 years in this situation. Like, want to put Colin Sweeney away for 45 years for this murder. This is, like, not the first time Colin Sweeney's been put up for murder. Like, this
Mhm.
is like a thing. They're trying to get the deal down. But we have this interesting scene where Colin, Julius, and Alicia are all in the same, like, interrogation room at the jail, and Colin is, like, talking about the deal, and Julius is like, yeah, it's a deal, like, just take the deal, like, it's a good deal. And this is, he tells Julius to, like, basically leave, and only wants to talk to Alicia so that she can tell him, like, really what's going on. And he's like, yo, this is about the merger, right?
Well, yeah, because I mean, at this point, the fact is, because when we talk about the quote unquote Chinese wall that Will and
The no
Diane,
talkies.
the no talkie rule is in effect, because at this point it's almost as if like, yeah, we're going to defend Colin Sweeney, quote unquote, in this criminal trial, but let's just say it's not the worst thing if he goes to jail. So maybe not defend him so hard. Like,
Right,
so
right.
they want to have Colin take this deal.
Well,
So
and the deal goes from 45 years where it started all the way down to 8.
right. So I mean,
So,
well,
like,
let's talk about how the 45 came up. We have the one, the only
Reese?
Geneva Pine, aka Renee Elise Goldberry,
Yes.
my love, um, on this case where she's the one that's in charge of this case. She offers the 45 because at that point in the episode, it's like, well, it looks like he just kind of killed her just because he wanted to kill her. So then, as things come out about this, the number of years goes down. When it is revealed that Sheila was obsessed with dangerous people, and so it may look like she may have kind of brought this on herself. The number of years goes down. They eventually get down to 8 because Geneva, when we first saw Geneva, when she's meeting with Alicia, Geneva asked Alicia in the middle of them
How's
doing
Peter?
business, "How's Peter doing?" Like,
How's
girl,
Peter?
why are you checking up on my man? First of all. And then in this second appearance, she does it again. Like,
Mhm.
how's Peter? He's fine. Like,
Get over it.
stop
Like,
checking up
he's
on my
not
man.
here.
Like,
I'm here.
yeah.
He's not.
This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about the case. Okay. Stop asking me about my man's. Okay. So and then what Alicia does is she kind of turns that back around on Geneva and says, well, obviously Colin Sweeney was being stalked by this woman. And my husband, when he was state's attorney, put on the book some laws to
Yes.
protect stalking victims. So you wouldn't want the laws that, what would people think if you went against these laws protecting stalking victims that my husband Peter, the person that you're so obsessed with checking up on,
Do it
well,
for Peter.
yeah, do
Do
it for
it for
Peter.
Peter.
So that gets you to be like, all right, let me go talk to my boss, and then we get it down to 8 years. So yeah, but again, Julius is kind of like now wants to kind of push Colin to take this deal so that Colin goes to jail so that the other people in the merger can feel more comfortable accepting the terms of the merger.
Yes.
So it's kind of
And
duplicitous
so,
here from Julius and Diane and Will.
yeah, but Alicia's like we've talked about in last episode, like, Alicia is Breaking Bad. Like she's just
Hmm.
like, I will be here. She's straight up with Colin, says, this is 8 years. Is this the best I'm gonna get? Yes. Is it because they want to kick me out as the CEO? Yes. And then because she was so honest and he realizes that there's no way out, Colin just drops a bomb here at the end of this conversation and says, well, I did kill my wife, so it's about time I went to jail. And I was like, what?
Yeah, but here's the thing though. This is Colin Sweeney. Can we take him at his word for this?
No,
Or
of
was he
course
just
not.
messing with Alicia? We still don't really know. But I mean, he quote unquote confessed, but we don't know if this is real or if he's just freaking with Alicia's mind. We don't know. We have no idea. But I mean, yeah, but I think Alicia is conflicted here because she knows that they're kind of pushing him into this
Yeah.
to get him out of there. So she's kind of conflicted whether to say, no, we should give him the trial that he deserves as like the quote unquote innocent person in this case. And there was another really interesting interaction that we get the no talkies confirmed from Julius,
Thank you.
but then Alicia in the law office sees Julius talking to Will. She doesn't know what they're talking about.
She's like, I thought there was no talkies.
Yeah, so she says she confronts Julius and is like, "Hey, bro, what happened to the no talkie rule?" And Julius is like, oh, "Excuse me, do not forget your place. You are a junior associate. I am an equity partner. Watch how
Yep.
you talk to me. Watch how you address me." And so it's like, ooh, it's like, well, I think Alicia's kind of like Alicia's feeling herself. I think at this point she's won the competition. She's got some confidence. She's like, "Hey, let me pull you up real quick. Talk to you about like what's going on here." So that was an interesting little
Yeah.
interaction. I'm I feel like Julius has other reasons to talk to Will. Like you don't know if this is they're talking about Colin Sweeney's case or not. Like he can still talk to him about other stuff. I thought it was a little presumptuous of Alicia to be like, "Hey, what do you like? What's going on? What are you talking to Will
Yeah.
for?"
I think that was just for us to see that like Alicia needed to be put in her place a little bit. Like she was
Mm.
getting too high on
Too big
herself.
for her britches, as
Yeah.
my mom would say.
Yes, exactly. So Colin, we end seeing Colin in jail. We'll see where he ends up or how his time in jail continues throughout the series. But that is the last we see of him for now. Things going on at the firm. We talked a little bit about how Alicia and Kalinda were out celebrating. There's a bunch of layoffs happening in this situation, and the conversation that Kalinda and Alicia have at the bar was pretty interesting because Kalinda's like, listen, lady, you want Will? You go get Will. Like,
You
I'll make
want
a
that
call right now. I'll make a call right now. I'll get you a room. We'll get this done.
you want that Will D, we'll get you the Will D. Okay? Like
Yeah.
just make it happen if that's what you want, girl. But I thought that the episode itself opened up in a really interesting way because we see again that scene of Cary coming out of Diane and Will's
Yep.
office from a different kind of viewpoint perspective. Where Cary, we saw last episode, we saw Cary walking past Alicia, but we kind of go further than that. This up in the beginning of this episode, where we now know that Julius and Kalinda were in the hallway next to that office, where Julius
Yep.
tells Kalinda like, "Hey, there is a lot of layoffs coming.
You're
uh,
safe.
you're safe, you're good." And then we see Cary in his like steamy kind of staring people down thing walk past Kalinda. There's no like he doesn't do any like, "Hey Kalinda, like I just got laid off.
Call me.
You want to help me celebrate?" or something like that. He just walks past her all mopey and shit. And he's and then so in that thing, Kalinda approaches Alicia. She's like, "Hey, like I know you're gonna make this a big thing. You're gonna be like, oh, so sad that you won the competition because you want to talk about all the ramifications and make it a weird, morbid thing. But no, let's go celebrate. Let's go tie one on. Let's go to the
You
bar.
have to have two shots because
Two
you're a
tequila
junior
shots now.
associate.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you're a junior associate.
and yeah,
And you should go like live your life, celebrate, be out there. And Alicia's like really thinking about it because like this is when she gets the call and she's all like, "Hey, Will," when this is happening. But at the same time, she wants to know like about Kalinda's life, and Kalinda is like shuts her down. She's like, "I'm very private. I'm not going to talk about anything." And Alicia's like, "We are literally talking about every single part of my life.
but
You got to
Alicia.
give me something."
But Alicia, I know you're drunk, Alicia, but you come out with a little more tact than, "Are you gay? Hey, are you gay? Do you like women? What's going on?" Like, okay, there's
Yeah,
there's
it
better
wasn't
ways
great.
to approach it. Kalinda's like, like you said, Kalinda says, I'm a private person. I don't want to talk about it. And in Alicia's defense, she's like, I have opened up to you about every single thing in my life. I have told you how much I want to bang Will, how much Will wants to bang me. You can at least give me your sexual preference. At the very least,
Okay.
come on, let's go.
Yeah. Or at least like she had a story to tell with Tony. She didn't even talk about Tony,
Yeah, there you go.
you know? So it was kind of fun to see these two, you know, it was fun to see these two hang out, which is something we'll talk about throughout the series.
Yeah, yeah.
But also we had Cary dealing with the aftermath of getting let go from Lockhart Gardner, and Cary is like, we see the conversation, I think, between Cary and Alicia that happened right after that. And he says to her, you'll do whatever it takes, even if that means sleeping with Will. And Alicia's like, if that's what you think,
Yeah. Yeah,
go
well,
ahead.
this is Cary trying to retrieve his person.
Oh, right.
He's
That's right.
trying to get his banker's box of items that you see like in
Yes.
movies and television shows where people get fired. They got the little cardboard box. He's trying to get that set up, right? He's trying to get his stuff back from his office, but it's locked. And of course,
Yes.
we have the firm has hired extra security because there's going to be people that
Can't
are
leave with information.
yeah, there's going
Yeah.
to be people that are upset they're getting fired, so we're going to have some extra security around. So Carrie's just trying to get his stuff, man, and his stuff is locked. He's frustrated because he can't get his stuff. He just got fired, and yeah, he lets Alicia really kind of have it.
Yeah, and then we also find out that like apparently the job market is bad for lawyers. I gotta tell you, job market hasn't really improved. Not that I'm a lawyer, but I could empathize with that situation. The job market is bad, so Carrie's like interviewing. He runs into some bros from law school. He bros it out. They go out to eat. They go out to drink, and the guys are calling it absorbing legal culture, which is like the most bro thing
Mm-hmm.
that you could ever say if in that situation. But it turns out the Childs, state's attorney Childs, is also absorbing legal culture and is at the same place that Cary is at. And they have a very interesting conversation at the bar, Jason.
The way that Childs confronted Carrie, it almost felt like a pickup line. He's like, "Hey, you ever read Malcolm Gladwell Outliers? Like, are you hitting on
Like
me or
twice.
trying
He said it twice. He said it twice. He was like, outliers, Malcolm Gladwell.
like
Gladwell, outliers.
Uh,
About what?
like I have a boyfriend. Thank you very much. I'm good. It almost just, he just slid up to the bar next to Carrie. He's like, "Hey, so you ever heard of Malcolm Gladwell? I'm reading that book right now. Like, just are you trying to impress me? Like, what's going on?" It was just a weird vibe that Childs approached Carrie with.
Well, and the whole thing with that book is like the thesis of that book is if you do anything for 10,000 hours, you can become
An
an
expert.
expert
Yeah.
at something. So I'm like, are you trying to say, Carrie, you put in your 10,000 hours? Like, what are you,
Well,
like,
no, because
where are you going with
he
this?
tells him, he's like, you could spend 10,000 hours
Oh, yeah.
prosecuting Chicago scum. That
Or,
doesn't sound fun.
or, yeah, you could join me, my team. And so he gets a job offer like right off the bat, and then he follows it up with, "I'm gonna need help on the Florida case. Yep, I'm in.
Yeah,
Yep,
and
count me in.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure if
I'll be there."
yeah, I don't even know if Glenn even knows that Carrie was fired from his job, or is this just like just a general offer, like, "Hey, come quit your job and come work for me." I don't even know. I don't know if Childs knows how
I don't think
desperate
he
Carrie is,
cares.
because he's like, Carrie doesn't need to hear the whole pitch. He's like, "I'm in. I'm down. Let's do it."
Well, because at this point, and we're about to get into what's going on with Peter and the case, but at this point, like Glenn Childs is in a he's not in a great position. Like he's
Yeah,
getting to a point where Peter's going to be free. Like things are not going well. So if he's going to continue to try to find things about Floric, uh, Peter, not Alicia, he's going to need
I mean
someone that's going
both.
to have that, like, yeah, have a little fire under them to go after that.
Yeah,
So
Glenn is down bad, and he needs someone in
yeah,
his corner that has some inside info. So he thinks that that is what Carrie is, because like I said, Carrie's like, "I'm in. You don't need to pitch me that hard," and he's like, "All right, well, I mean, just so you know, I'm gonna need help with the Peter and Alicia Florrick thing." He's like, "Yep, no problem. I got
say
you, bro.
less.
I
I
got
will be
you."
there.
Like I love that. Like that's what you should have led with. I would have said yes even sooner. If I could shovel dirt on
Well,
Alicia's grave, let me at it. Let me do it.
and Carrie, is a very versatile player in that world because we've seen him be like an investigator, we've seen him be a
Yeah.
negotiator, we've seen him grow in the courtroom. So he's going to be an asset. And I look forward to re-seeing the time
Well,
where he's smart.
and this is another one of those things that I totally forgot happened. So I was like, oh, we're gonna see Cary on the
Oh,
other side. Like, I'm down for that 100,000%.
yeah.
We didn't talk like too much about Cary and Alicia's like fight. I just thought that was so like the intensity level
Like
of that was
the
so
getting
good.
the box fight.
Yeah, that the intensity of that was so good. He's like, I thought, like, silly me. I thought this was gonna be a fair fight, but no, I don't have the name. I don't have the connections you do. Silly me for thinking this would be fair. And as Kalinda told Alicia in the beginning of the episode, if Cary was in your position, he would have done the exact same
The exact
thing
and more,
and more.
and
He
more,
would have
and earlier.
Right. He would have taken all the time Alicia took to think about it in her head, like, oh, should I use my husband's connection or not? He would have gone off the bat doing that. So this whole thing from Cary of like, oh, I thought this was gonna be fair. Shut up, Cary. Shut up. You know, for a second you would have done what Alicia did and not even think twice about it. So
I'm
stop.
actually surprised like Cary didn't try to use Alicia's connections by saying, "Hi, I'm Cary. I work with Alicia."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, so I mean, all this bravado from Cary of like, I worked like I put the sweat and blood and tears into this, and you just came in with your connections and you won. I'm like, bro, take that somewhere else. Like, stop playing all high and mighty. You just mad because you lost. Listen, I feel bad for Cary because he did work really hard. He started at the ground
He
level
did.
and still was keeping pace with Alicia. But I mean, those connections are what got Alicia the job. So I do feel bad for him. But I mean, like, don't be a dick. Like, come on.
Just like a moment.
Yeah, I
Like
understand
I
his I
said.
understand his frustration. I really
Yeah,
do. But I
yeah.
am very excited to see how what he does with this child's opportunity.
Well, and what he does with his own anger and need for revenge
Mhm.
when put in a situation of being a prosecutor.
Yeah, and
Like
how
I
and I'm excited to
yeah,
see how far he's going to take that. Because I feel
yeah,
like without remembering what happens, I feel like there's going to be some cases where he's going to have to decide if he's going to cross that line of what he will do to get back at Alicia. So I'm
yep.
very curious to see what that's going to be like.
Well, things were also happening with Peter and his
Your
case.
favorite segment of the episodes.
I love it. It's always at the end. Don't you get you tell? I love it so much. Um,
Save the best for last in your
yeah.
mind.
Well, at least there's Elsbeth, so it's fine. Golden, however, was conveniently called away to the White House by
AK
President Obama,
AKA he
aka
got the job. He got the role on Scandal. AKA that's what that was probably at
it's
that
been
about that
handled.
time.
It was
Yeah.
handled.
Yeah.
Like that happened.
Hey, we need you on
And
this show.
Peter,
Leave that other show. He's like, deal. I'm in. I'm out.
well, I think like the character over there is a little bit better. I would have jumped
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. I mean, that was a big character.
Yeah. So Peter is now stuck with Elsbeth, and he's like really missing Golden in
Hmm.
this situation. Elsbeth is Elsbeth thing. There is a video of Costco saying that he needed more. That Peter needed more money for a down payment on a house, and in return, he promised an ear and friendship. And so this is video evidence that they're trying to get in to the case to basically say that even though Costco is dead, he has some information on Peter that is pertinent to this case. And they cite something called the Peterson law.
Yeah, I mean, apparently this whole thing is what Childs is building his case off of. Like this is the nail
This
in
is it.
Peter's coffin for him because we get, like you said, we get Costco basically running down the menu list. He's like, for $40,000, you can be like an acquaintance of Peter. For $80,000, you can be a friend of Peter, and he'll do what does Peter call it? Fuzzy things for you. If you're at that
Yes. Yeah.
$80,000, it's almost like a Patreon thing. Like you can be a member at $40,000 a month, and you can get some perks, but you could be $80,000. You can get all the perks. You get all the behind the scenes stuff. You get all the stuff that comes with that fuzzy friend level of membership. So like that's basically like the what Child's going to use to be like to prove Peter's corruption, to prove that he is on the take. This is Like, as we will find out, this is everything that Childs is building on this is used on this video. Like, this is his whole case here.
This
So
is
this is
it.
important. Yeah.
This is it. And like Elsbeth is like doing her best to like not get it submitted into evidence, but in the end, it gets submitted. They'll hear evidence on Costco's murder, basically.
Yeah, because I mean,
Not Costco. Yeah.
yeah, of Costco's like, well, and here's the thing with we get into the court and it's like, yo, like Elsbeth's argument is that we cannot use this video evidence because we don't have the person on this video to corroborate this. Like
Right.
she says, like Peter needs to be able to confront his accuser, and we can't do that because Costco is dead. He's not around to give us his more of his side of the story. We just had this video thing. We can't use that. That's just hearsay. And so Childs' contention is that yes, we can use his hearsay video because of the Peterson law. The Peterson law states that you can use this hearsay evidence if the person that's being accused benefits from the death of this person and also caused the death of this person. So basically, Charles is saying we think Peter killed this guy so that he could not testify against Peter. So this video damning Peter should be allowed into evidence. So that is the whole
Yeah.
contention of this like what is this called, a trial, or this
This
hearing.
moment.
Yeah, this hearing of whether to decide if this Costco video can be used to prosecute Peter.
Yes. Thank you. Um, at the same time, Eli and Elsbeth are on to the fact that the feds are on to Peter. Like they can see, like the FBI is there now. They're investigating, and Eli is like, I'm gonna beat the FBI with the only game I know.
Yeah,
So
important to note that the FBI representative is
yes,
Kalinda's FBI
friend.
dalliance. Yeah, quote
Yes,
unquote friend. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, and so Eli goes and visits her and is like, "Hey, so see this photo of your investigator outside of Peter's apartment taking pictures and stuff? We're going to put it on buses. We're going to put it on magnets. We're going to put it on buttons. We're going to put it everywhere." And she's like, "Okay." Like
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, he's trying to do this to like intimidate her, I guess, and to, I guess, paint the FBI in a not great light. I'm not sure what Eli's thing
This
was
is just
here.
like Eli is like, "I'm going to use the only thing I know, which is intimidation.
Yeah.
And this is how I know how to do it." So he's like, "I got to at least try."
And I love the presentation, right? He's got the poster with the picture blown up. He's got it on mugs. He's got it on magnets. He's got it He's got it on buttons. He's like, I am going to spread this information out large and wide to let everyone know what you're up to. You're down and dirty tricks. And he's basically just like, I'm gonna like. He says, "You think we're what does he say? You think we're a bleeding deer that you can just pick us off super easily?" He's like, "No, we got a bunch of fight left in us. We're not going down like that. We are ready for this fight. So bring it on." Basically, just kind of like daring her to keep this going because Eli's going to pull all the dirty tricks in the book he can.
Well, yes, but also she's the FBI. You know what I mean?
I
Like it's like okay,
mean, and she's taking credit.
I'm
She's taking
scared
credit
of
for,
your magnets.
yeah. And she mentions like we took down Al Capone. First of all, you didn't take down Al Capone. FBI did not take down Al Capone. The IRS took down
The
Al
IRS,
Capone.
but
So
yes, yes,
so
yeah, yeah.
pick another thing you did if you can. Like 'cause that's not yours. You're claiming false credit. So chill out with that. Chill with that.
One of the things that was happening this entire episode with Elsbeth is she was having trouble with her computer. It was very Elsbeth. It
Yeah.
was like a very Elsbethian,
Elsbethian.
yes,
My question
situation.
my question here is how old is Elsbeth's son? Who we
Oh yeah,
who
because
we
we talk about in Elsbeth.
yeah, who we know from the Elsbeth show is named Teddy.
Well, and he in Elsbeth is living in DC and is married or
I
is gonna get
I'm
married
not sure.
or
But
there's some sort of relationship happening.
yeah, she mentions here that her son keeps buying her computers. Like, first of all, how old are you, Elsbeth? Like, because from the Elsbeth TV show, I would think Teddy is probably in like his 30s or like
30s,
30.
yeah.
This is 14 years ago. Like, I need
Well,
an
maybe
age.
he worked at Best Buy or a com or
I, I need an age check. I need an age check on Elsbeth because the Elsbeth I see here on Good Wife doesn't seem like someone that's old enough to be having a child buying computers for her. So
Or like maybe he was involved in some like underground computer
there you
situation.
go, right in the show again.
In my mind, he works at Circuit City and then he gets like the old computers
I think
that
Circuit
call
City was
up the
already
thing.
dead. Circuit
And
City was
then, no,
Circuit
he
City
was
was already
not
dead
dead
in
in, oh,
2011.
maybe it was. But long live Circuit City. Anywho, yes, I would like an age check as well. It
Yeah,
was
I
a
need an
little
age check.
confusing.
Yeah, it was confusing. Yeah, but
Uh, uh,
I don't think Elsbeth is Elsbeth that technologically inept in
Yeah,
Elsbeth.
not in Elsbeth, but
Yeah.
like in that's like her thing in the good universe up until
Okay. Yeah.
that point.
There you go.
I mean, in Elsbeth, she's got like a full
She
wall
got a
screen that she
screen
can like
window in
and
her
map
office. Yeah.
and stuff like that. So she's come a long way.
Yeah.
But in this instance, she's having trouble with her computer. But one of the things she finds out is that Costco had 3 sons. And
Well, three
like
kids.
she's late.
I think one of them was
Oh,
a
3 kids.
yeah, three kids.
I was like laying this out to Eli. She's like, this guy's the oldest. This person's the middle. And I'm like, yes, this one's the youngest, but he was a stillborn baby. And so it's really interesting that money is being spent by Arthur Costco in this situation because it's being taken out of a bank account in the Cayman Islands. And this person never really existed.
Mhm.
So something's a little fishy in here.
Yeah. Being withdrawn from Savannah, but not in Georgia. There's Savannah in the Cayman Islands. So who is taking money from Arthur Costco's account? Who else could it be?
It's it's Arthur. I mean, it's Costco. I forgot his first
Yeah, his
name.
first
What
name.
is
I don't
his
remember
real
his first
name?
name. It doesn't matter.
It's
Uh,
Costco. It's Mr. Costco.
Mr. Costco. So yeah, I mean, at that point, Elsbeth presents to the court, like in a just like a bombshell moment.
Well, she does it in the best way because she used the law. This whole conversation had been about the Peterson law, the Peterson law, the Peterson law, and the Peterson law says that the murderer must profit from the murder.
Yeah,
And so she like just she nobody has said anything, but she poses this as an objection to the judge, who is played by Mr. Mariska Hargitay,
yeah. I mean,
who
listen, I checked into this guy's
he is the youngest.
yeah, because it's so funny because he introduces himself as the youngest justice in Chicago, Illinois. Like he this is what he opens with. He's like, as the youngest Supreme Justice in Illinois, I welcome you to our courtroom. And then he just uses that the whole day, like he's like, as the youngest Supreme Court Justice, I know this and that. Like, okay, bro, like cool. And at some point, I was just like, yes, we get it. You are the youngest Supreme Court Justice. We understand. And so at that point, the judge is like, okay, bro, like I'm not on your side anymore, like because you're not appreciating the fact that I am the youngest Supreme Court justice in Illinois, so he's kind of on his shit list. But yeah,
Yeah.
that guy who was played by let's try to pull up his name. Peter Herman is his name, I think.
It's something like that. I know him from Younger.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, youngest judge guy. He's from like you said, younger guy. Like, but the best thing is that he is married to
Yes.
Mariska Hargitay, aka Liv from Law and Order SVU. The one probably the person doing this in the procedural crime law game, probably more than anyone
The
else,
longest.
the
Yeah.
longest. And they
I'm
met.
pretty sure she has
Yeah,
the credentials to actually be a cop at this
yeah,
point.
I think so. And like, so she and this guy who was guest starring on The Good Wife actually met on the Law and Order SVU set, and then they got married. He is like, listen, my dude, like, not to like take down your bona fides, but I mean, you're kind of
You're Mr.
You're Mister Mariska Hargitay. Like
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
mind,
Yeah.
that's who you would be. If I met you, I'd be like, you're Mister Mariska Hargitay.
It's just like Doug Emhoff is
Yeah,
Mr. Kamala
there you
Harris.
go. Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
that's how that works.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, speaking of which, don't forget to register to vote if you haven't voted or vote. This is a good week to vote. Um,
Oh, I get it. It's a good week to vote. Good. Yeah,
it's a
get it.
good
Good
week to
week.
vote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay, so we've got this information that Costco's alive, basically. And so the way that Elsbeth presents it in the courtroom is like, hey, just want to like check. I'm just going to object before you say anything. Like the Peterson law states that the murderer must profit from the murder, right, like that's right. And they're like, yeah, uh-huh. And she's like, oh well, we might have overlooked one thing here, and that fact is that Costco's alive. And it was like, it was so Elsbeth. It was so great. It's really a testament to like the writers of the show and the creators of the show, how true to character this character has been throughout the entire universe of things, because that is definitely like straight out of the Elsbeth playbook.
Yeah, she's like, well, I mean, in order for in order for this law to take effect, someone has to be murdered, and apparently, Mr. Costco has not been murdered because here he is on a surveillance picture, a surveillance video,
From an
being
ATM.
of an ATM, being alive and well. So, bing, bang, boom, and as a good wife likes to do, they just kind of like, all right, that's it.
That's it.
Like
That's it.
Eli calls Peter, and he's like, "You're free now. You're good to go." It's like, really?
But then they have this like party,
Oh
Jason.
man,
They
you
have
must
this
have hated this
party.
so
I
hard.
hated the party so much. There's like a cutting off of the ankle
Uh-huh.
thing ceremony. There's the schmoozing and whatever. There's this conversation with the kids, and the kids are like, "Let's go to Europe. Let's do all
Oh
this stuff."
boy.
I'm just like, okay. So yes, Peter is free now.
Well, I mean, let's talk about more about this like little party because like first of all, we get some very
Hmm.
interesting like of course, we haven't had a big kid storyline in a while, and I can't say I've missed it at all. I can't
It's
say
been
that.
great.
It's been great to have less of them because we get like Grace like Zach's drinking champagne. It's like okay, whatever. Let's blah blah blah. And but Jackie comes over.
Oh yeah, this was good.
Yeah, and Jackie's like, Alicia, we couldn't have done this without you. You are such a good woman. You were always there for him. You stood by him. We just couldn't we us women. We comfort, we nurse.
Yeah,
We have to always be there. Cue Peter calling Alicia over
I couldn't.
like a dog. Alicia, come
And
here.
then
Come here.
Jackie was like, he's calling you.
Yeah.
And I was like, shut up, Jackie.
But listen though, but once Alicia is called over to Peter like a dog,
Yes, yes.
but he's doing this to kind of introduce her to some people that could be good for her career. So I was like, okay, maybe
Well,
Peter,
yeah.
maybe Peter's like, he's coming around to the fact that Alicia, you
Oh, no,
know,
you sweet, sweet child, Jason. The thing is that he knows that he needs to get Alicia on his side so that he can run now. So
uh,
he's pulling an Eli here and saying, "Oh, hey, Alicia, it just so happens that the AFL-CIO, one of the largest
what,
labor unions in the
whatever.
entire world, is looking for a
Is
new
that what that was?
lawyer." Yes,
That's what that
yeah,
acronym was. That was a real acronym.
yes,
I thought it
that's
was
a
made up.
real acronym.
I thought it
No,
was like the FHIJOKYL. I was like,
no,
what is this?
real.
Oh, this
It's a
is
real
real.
thing,
Okay, I didn't know
and
that.
in a town like Chicago, labor is, like, super huge, so
Oh,
getting them to be, like, la getting the law firm to support labor would be a huge
I
win
I
for
legit
them.
thought that
But this is,
was
like, a
a made up
legit
thing.
like, this is a huge get, and so he knows what he's doing here. Like, don't do this whole, like, maybe
I,
Peter believes in Alicia because blah, blah, blah. No, 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 no. No, no, he's gonna say, "Oh, remember how I gave you that AFL-CIO thing?" And also it's
wow.
gonna look good for me because I support the AFL CEO or CIO, because I then have to run for governor, or not governor, run for state's attorney again. Like, this is all for Peter. Peter is always for Peter. Like, you just like, don't give Peter any.
Yeah,
I can't with Peter.
you really really hate Peter. You
I
can't
do
give
not like Peter.
you can't give Peter anything. I was about to be like, hey, this is like
Mm-mm.
Peter recognizing that Alicia is a career woman and he's trying to help her out in her career,
No,
make
no.
introductions. Like he's not expecting her to go back to her housewifey ways now that he's free. But you just took it to like a whole other level.
Well,
Like,
did you see like how, if that was true, he would like, we would have seen scenes of him like thanking Alicia, or there'd be family moments or stuff like that. He is showboating for this entire room of people because he needs them. He's going to say, I would not be surprised if later, I don't even know if this will be like, if later he's like, everyone, clink, 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 I have an announcement. I have an announcement. I know I just was freed. I will be running for office
Uh,
starting 300 years ago. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, this is all part of a play by Peter
Okay.
in my mind. Not that I have any strong feelings about it.
Yeah, no, now that you have a certain viewpoint on it, hey, if that listen, I'm not going to put it past Peter to do that. I thought it was a like good vote for Peter, but you have set me straight. I bow to your hatred of Peter. I have no problem with it at all. I
Well,
don't.
you don't have to. You can think that it was good for him. I'm just saying, like, maybe it wasn't.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see
We'll
who's right.
see. We'll see. We'll
Um,
see.
I have a feeling you're probably right, but hey, whatever.
I don't know. Like my hatred of Peter is surprising even me. Like something must have like happened in the show that I cannot remember, but is living still within me that really makes me not like this.
Hey, I don't blame you at all. I'm all for the hatred of Peter and of Peter's portrayer,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
Chris Noth.
not great,
So
not great.
just not great all around. So if there's a moment to hate, I will not begrudge you of it at all. Um, oh,
But that, yeah.
I
What
forgot.
else? What else we
I
got?
forgot about my question of the week that I wanted
Oh,
to
what do you
pose.
got? Yeah.
We got the information that Colin Sweeney, for seemingly
Yeah.
like because almost because he felt like he almost wanted to killed his dog in a weird way of trying to prove his innocence. I would want to know because at that point it was like you're facing 45 years of jail, my guy. It's going to be a tough question for a lot of us out there, for a lot of you pet lovers. If you were faced with a choice, 45 years in prison
Mhm,
or
mhm.
off your dog to get
Okay.
out of prison.
Or like what is the weirdest thing you would do to like avoid going to prison?
Okay, we'll
Would
we'll sanitize the question. What what is the weirdest thing you would do? What is the
I don't know.
scale of things you would do to get out of prison? Who or what would you kill to get out of jail?
Oh boy. I mean, well, I think it just shows that like I I don't have like the lived experience of a Colin Sweeney. Okay. Like
Who does?
Marissa Garza would be like, if I do one thing wrong, I will go to jail forever and then they will kill me there. Like I would like it would go from 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds. So like
You don't
I
even
wouldn't even
jaywalk.
contemplate. Like, I got pulled over for jaywalking once, Jason.
How do
That's
you
how
get
my
pulled
life
over
is.
jaywalking?
I'll tell you. I was walking because people didn't shovel their sidewalks, and I was walking home from the bus station, and the cop pulled me over and said, "Why aren't you walking on the sidewalk?" And I said, "What sidewalk? I can't see any sidewalk." And he said, "Do you know what the fine is for jaywalking?" And he said, $75. I said, "I have 3 more blocks or 3 more houses to go. Let me go home."
Bruh, that guy needs to get his badge taken off.
Oh,
And
this is what I'm
I don't think it's really a
saying. Like,
pullover. I think it's like a walkover because you weren't in a
no,
car. You were just walking.
he was in a car.
He
He
was in
was
a
in a
car.
car,
He
and
pulled you
he
over while
like
you were walking. Crazy.
so like I
That is the
can't.
epitome of douchebag. Like, what are you doing, bro?
So my thoughts on cops started young. Um, I can't even fathom a world like where I would even contemplate doing anything like that because my relationship. But let's just say I had the lived experience of a Colin Sweeney. Um, I think I would have taken the film out of the camera. I don't think I would have killed
Killed
the
the dog.
dog.
I mean,
No,
he didn't need to kill the dog. That's right.
no.
He felt he needed to kill the dog in order to get out of this. I don't know where he got that thought from. It's just weird. But yeah, would you go to such extreme lengths to get yourself
Would
out of
you?
40? No, I would not kill a dog to get out of anything. I don't think.
Would you like? What if it was like a fish?
If it's a fish and I can get out of 45 years in prison, flushing that puppy down the toilet. Uh, I'm taking it out of its fish roll and watching it gasp its last breath of air. But
What if it's like a really exotic fish and it's like going to go extinct? And what if you just end this whole thing?
it's fine. It's fine. A dog is different. It's like a dog can look at you in the eye while you're killing it and make you feel bad about it. It would make terrible noises while you're killing it. I couldn't do
Would you
that.
kill a cat?
No,
What
same
about
thing.
a cat?
I couldn't watch it suffer.
Me neither.
A fish is like, you know,
What about a bird?
I think I could probably off a bird if I needed to. Yeah.
What about a ferret? Or a guinea pig.
No, I don't think I could do that. I think they're too cute and cuddly. Like, I could do it to a rat, right? I could off a
Ooh.
rat if I needed to. I could off it.
I'm like, oh,
I think the cute level is what does it. Like I
oh
think I
yeah.
honed in on it. Like, is this a cute animal? Is this a nice, fluffy, cute, domesticated animal? I couldn't do it. A rat, I'll get rid of a rat for 45 years in prison. A bird, same thing. But if it's a cute, cuddly thing like a hamster or a guinea pig, I don't think I could do it.
Lizard, turtle,
I could
snake.
I could probably off a snake or a turtle. I could probably off most of the reptile family without feeling too bad. I think. Huh. What about you, Marissa? Where's your line? I think your line is no animals at all. What is your line?
Correct. Yeah. Like, no, I
Oh,
would
so
not be.
I'm just the psycho that's willing to off animals, certain
Okay.
levels of
Okay.
animals. You're not going to
No,
take a
I
rat out,
mean,
Marissa. You're not going to take a rat out
mm,
for
I
40
would probably
for
like a
45
rat or a
years.
mouse,
Okay, there you
a
go.
rat or a mouse
A
or something
mouse?
like
I wouldn't do a
that.
mouse. Mouses are too cute.
What?
I just need to make you look bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute. It is a mouse.
Is it a pet mouse though? Is it a pet mouse or a mouse that you would just
Hmm.
have like just snuck in your house? I've
Well,
killed mice for less.
is it
In my
Mickey
offense,
or Ratatouille?
you couldn't do Ratatouille. You can't kill Ratatouille. I've killed mice for less than 45 years of prison. I'll say that.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
had mice in my
I've
house and set
killed
up mouse
mice for
traps.
my sanity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't have a mouse rooting around through my stuff, so I had to off it. So I mean, the
Okay.
stakes weren't as high.
Okay. I would be much more like I would release the pet. So like if it was like a bird or something, I would like release it into the wild, which is not any better than like it probably should just be killed because it can't really survive outside. In the
Okay.
like it would be hard. Like what if you had like a parrot
You
and
mean a
it's like in the
domesticated
middle.
bird?
Yes, you'd like let it go wild? No, like that's not very kind either. But I would probably do that. And then I would say, like, oh, there was some sort of struggle where they opened the door and the bird went and I was mad. And so that's what happened.
Pigeon, pigeon, you out of here. I can't. I'll take you out for a 45-year prison sentence. I'll do that.
But what about like a parakeet?
I don't have too much experience with parakeets.
What if it could talk to you? What if it was like, what are you doing, Jason?
Oh
What are you
yeah,
doing?
I might. I don't think I could probably do that. Like, please don't kill me. You're hurting me. You're hurting me. Please don't hurt me. I probably couldn't do that. Then I'd probably have to like, ease up off the parakeet. Um, Listen, we kind of deviated, but it's fine. We might cut this out later. We might not. I don't
We
know.
might. Who knows?
But if you have thoughts about what you would do to not suffer a 45-year prison sentence, let us know through the YouTube comments. Let us know through
Yes.
our Gmail account, thegoodpodfeedback@gmail.com. You can put it in a review if you want. We would love to have this conversation with you guys. That we
We'd
just
love
had.
to have any conversation. It can
Yeah,
even be like about how ridiculous this question was.
yeah.
I like we'll take any and
We'll
all
take
comments.
anything. We kind of spun off into a weird place there, but stay with us. It's the end of the podcast. It's the end of the podcast. What do you want from us? Anyway, Marissa,
If
we
you
are at
made
the,
it to the end of the podcast,
we
please leave a
yeah,
bird emoji.
yeah. Oh my god. Would you kill a rat to avoid a 45-year prison sentence? Let's make that the question. Not a dog. Because that's a little much. Anyway, we have made it to the end of this episode,
We
Marissa.
have.
If we haven't
Yes.
turned off all of our listeners, would you
Hmm,
please tell
hmm.
them where they can find you and what you're up to and what you're doing nowadays?
Oh, well, if you would like to follow the adventures of me, a person who does not have a pet, so there would be no more pets talking at this point. Well, I might in the future. Who knows? You can find me at It's Me, Marissa G on Instagram and Threads. And I've started a couple new projects. You can always see what I'm up to by clicking on the link in my bio. It'll tell you everything that's going on with me there. Jason, we're in November.
Yeah.
What's going on with you?
So my wrapped up the Love Is Blind coverage, so we don't have to worry about that going forward. Season 7 Love Is Blind is wrapped up and done. If you didn't check out my coverage over on the Raw Pass Podcast Network on the Love at First Sight feed with me, Mary Krakowski, and Asia Welch, you can go back and check that out if Love Is Blind was something that you were into. Also, if you're into the show Married at First Sight, which is kind of like a cousin of Love Is Blind, you can check that out as
Mhm,
well. And
mhm.
my coverage of that with the aforementioned Asia Welch, Survivor Superstar, over on the podcast A Perfect Match. Go check that out as well. Also on the Rob Has Podcast Network. And of course, you can always find me here talking Good Wife every week, and of course, talking Elsbeth every week for right now as we're going through season
Yes.
2 of Elsbeth. Listen, spoiler alert, we pre-tape these things, but I assume that Elsbeth is going well and that we're enjoying the coverage. So loving season 2 of Elsbeth.
Love it.
Love
So
it.
good.
Yeah, it's so good.
So
Can't
good.
believe we had Cary,
So,
Kalinda. They all guest starred on the season 2
you know who showed
premiere.
up?
Yeah.
Colin Sweeney.
God, Sweeney was there. Oh my god. Just assuming this is how it happens since we haven't watched it yet. But yeah. Listen, you can check us all out there. If you want to see what I'm up to, otherwise, you can follow me on Twitter at JAYR1085. I think the nonsense has gone on long enough this episode. Until next week, stay good.